Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vincent, you may know me as Not Bad, and I have a really fun pattern for you today. For this video, I'm showing you how to make your own holiday narwhal. You don't have to make it a holiday themed, you can make it a normal narwhal, but for our sake, that's what they're going to be considered. These are really simple, super easy, and if you are experienced, you can actually have these done in an hour. This is actually an old pattern of mine. Here's what the original used to look like. You can find that pattern on the blog. I have kind of reworked it a little bit. The horns are a little bit thicker and there was no face involved. But for this pattern, you'll find everything in the video tutorial along with the face details. So thanks for watching and I hope you enjoy the pattern. Be sure to also subscribe to the channel as I have been uploading more videos. We'll have more crochet tutorials for you, and I've been streaming this process as well if you want to catch me on Twitch and YouTube streaming. So what you'll need is some yarn. I'm using the Big Twist Value yarn from Joanne. However, you can use any worsted weight size 4 yarn you wish. You will want white for the underbelly of your narwhal, but for the top color, it can be any color you choose. I went with a blue narwhal and a gray narwhal, so this will be color A, and the white will be color B for the bottom. You can choose any colors you wish though, and then you will need some colors for the horns as well, some alternating colors. So that can be any other color you want. They can be Christmas themed, they can be Halloween themed, any color combo you wish. So you will need those colors. So we have color A, color B, and then 2 other colors. So for example, I could go with a red and a green. And then for an optional part of the pattern, if you wanted to add your face, you will need black and pink. So you can have all those colors. I'll have that all on the screen so you know what you're looking for. You'll want a 4mm crochet hook. If you only have a 3.75 or a 4.25 on hand, that works also, but the size might be varied just by a little bit. You'll want a darning needle for the assembly portion, some pins to keep your project pieces in place when doing the assembly portion. You'll want 2 12mm safety eyes for the face. You can go down in size if you wish. It's optional, but we also want a stitch marker as it is helpful, and then a pair of scissors. You'll also want some polyfill to stuff your work as well. You can find all these items down in the description below. To do so, we're going to take our less dominant hand and leave out our index finger. We have the tail of our yarn and we're going to have that in front. So this is being seen like this. From here, I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to take the working yarn. I'm going to wrap around my index finger and wrap around that first loop. So now I have an X. I'm going to hold the X down with my thumb. With my crochet hook, I'm going to go underneath that first loop like so. And then I'm going to go grab that second loop that my thumb is on. So grab that. I'm going to pull it underneath and twist, as you see here. My yarn twists. I'm going to go grab my working yarn with my middle finger. So now I have a bridge to work with. And from here, I'm going to do a chain 1. So I'm going to yarn over and then pull through the loop to perform a chain. I can now take out my index finger from the loop. I'm going to pull out my tail so it's out of the way. And there we have our first magic ring. This will be the foundation of our project, and we'll be working into this moving forward, working in a round. So we're on to round 1 now, and round 1 calls for 6 single crochet into the magic ring. We're going to treat the magic ring as we do a normal stitch. So with my hook, I'm going to insert into the loop, or our magic ring. I'm going to yarn over and pull through. I now have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through both. There's my first single crochet inside of the magic ring. Our round calls for 6 single crochet in total, so we're going to do 5 more single crochet into the magic ring. So once again, I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over and pull through. I have 2 loops left on my hook, yarn over and pull through both. Let's do that again. Sorry, I'm gonna get my yarn out of the way. So insert our hook, yarn over and pull through. We have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both loops. We now have 3 single crochet into our magic ring. We need a total of 6, so we're going to do 3 more. Insert our hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through both. For our last two, we're going to insert our hook into the ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then time to do our last. So one last time, we'll insert our hook through the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. And there we should have 6 single crochet. You can count these V's that we see here. So I'm going to count backwards from my hook down to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So once we have 6, we can feel pretty proud of ourselves. With the tail, we're now going to cinch our magic ring. So we're going to pull it tight until we create a circle. So great job there. And once you have your circle, we can put in our stitch marker just so we can be aware on where our round ends and starts. And I'm putting it inside of that stitch that we just created. So this will identify our last stitch. You can also use other alternatives for a stitch marker, such as a loose piece of yarn or maybe some sort of like hair clip. Okay, great job. For round 2, it calls for doing an increase into each stitch all the way around so we can hit a total of 12 stitches. An increase is 2 single crochets inside of the same stitch. So what we're going to do in that first stitch into the next round, as you see here, I'm going to go through that full V as we do. So we now have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And now, instead of going to the next stitch, we are going to do another single crochet into the same exact stitch that we just worked into. As you can see, it's a little bit stressed, so that's a good indication that that's where you want to go back into. So insert our hook into the same exact stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Great, so there is your first increase. Great job. That's 2 single crochets in the same exact stitch, and we're going to do that all the way around. Into the next stitch, our first single crochet, yarn over, pull through, and into the same exact stitch, we're going to do what we've done before for our increase, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. So there's 2 single crochet in that next stitch. Once again, we're going to find the next stitch that hasn't been worked into, insert, yarn over, pull through, and then insert once again to the same exact stitch, yarn over, pull through. We're going to do that for the next 3 stitches. So into the next stitch, we'll do another increase, so 2 single crochet in the same exact stitch. Repeat once again into the next. And then once we get to our final stitch, we can actually take out our stitch marker, whatever you're using, and then we're going to do the exact same thing in that final stitch. So 2 single crochet in that same exact stitch. Great job. Now we should have a total of 12 stitches as we doubled each stitch, going from 6 to 12. So we're going to count those V's. I'm actually going to count with my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. You're on the right track. In the pattern, you can see that in the parentheses on screen. So make sure to keep that in mind. Putting our stitch marker back in, and we're ready for the next round. If the hole is a little large, you can always cinch it a little tighter with the tail. There we go, no more gap. On to the next round. This round calls for a single crochet followed by an increase, so we're going to be doing a repetition for this one. In that first stitch, we are going to insert our hook and perform another single crochet. So insert, yarn over, pull through 1. We have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and then into the next stitch is where we do another increase, which is exactly what we did on our previous round. So 2 single crochet in that same stitch. So we'll do our first single crochet. At this point, I think you know how to do a single crochet. And then we're going to do another single crochet in that same exact stitch. So we went 1, 2, so 1 stitch and then 2 stitches. And then we're going to follow that same pattern all the way around. So we're going to be following it up with a single crochet. And then into the next stitch, 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then we're going to repeat that. We're going to do 1 single crochet, followed by 2 single crochet. Once again, repeat that. 1 single crochet followed by 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet followed by 2 single crochet, and then we're going to do that one more time, but we're going to take out our stitch marker. So do a single crochet followed by 2 single crochet in that same exact stitch. If you aren't ending your round on an increase, there might be something wrong. So in the parentheses, it calls for 18 stitches. So let's make sure we have our 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, we have 18 stitches. So great job there. And on to the next round. On to our next round, as we see on screen. This calls for a single crochet 2 followed by an increase, and that is what we'll repeat all the way around. So it will look pretty familiar to our last round we just did. We're going to start with on our first stitch, we're going to do a single crochet, just like we've been doing. Into the second stitch following, we're going to do another single crochet. And into our third stitch, we are going to do our increase. So 2 single crochet in that same exact stitch. And we're going to continue that repetition all the way around. 2 single crochet followed by an increase. So in our next stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. Into the following stitch, another single crochet. And into our third stitch, we're going to do an increase, so 2 single crochet in the same exact stitch. And there we have it. So we're going to keep doing that. So in our next stitch, 1 single crochet, followed by another single crochet in the next stitch. And then the following, we're going to do an increase, so 2 single crochet in the same exact stitch. Let's continue doing that all the way to the end of the round to the stitch marker. Insert into the next, and then an increase. Into the stitch, into the next, and then an increase. Do our last pair of single crochets, and then take out our stitch marker, and we're going to do a last increase, so 2 single crochet in that same stitch. And in the parentheses, we should have 24 stitches on screen, so we are going to count 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Great job. We'll put our stitch marker in, and we are on the right path. So great job so far. For our next round, this is going to be our last round of doing increases, so we're almost there. So we are going to be doing a repetition of a single crochet 3 followed by an increase. This is going to look really familiar to what we just did in this past 2 rounds, and I think you'll be able to get the hang of it pretty quickly. So in the first stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. In the following stitch, another single crochet. In the third stitch, one last single crochet. And in the next stitch, we are going to do an increase, so 2 single crochet in that same exact stitch. And then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to do 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches, followed by an increase in the last. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, followed by an increase. So 2 single crochet in that same exact stitch. And then we are going to do that same repetition all the way to the stitch marker, and I will see you at the end of the round, and we'll finish off and then start the next round. Once we reach our stitch marker, we can take our stitch marker out, and then we can do our increase into that same stitch that the stitch marker was in. So our 2 single crochets. We should have a total of 30 stitches, so let's make sure we have that. I'm going to place this down flat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Great job. We'll put our stitch marker in, and these next few rounds will be pretty easy. Excited to work on them with you. For this next round, there is going to be no counting involved. It'll just be single crochets all the way around, which for a lot of these projects, this is my favorite part. So this is a great time to throw on a TV show or listen to music. So what we're going to be doing is doing 1 single crochet into each stitch, no increases. So we're going to single crochet once, and then once again, into the 3rd, into the 4th, and then this is where your brain might trick you to think that you need to do an increase, because that's what we've been doing this whole project. But you're just going to continue along, going all the way around until the stitch marker. No counting involved. You can think to yourself and enjoy the mindlessness of it all. And it's very therapeutic, honestly, being able to just single crochet all the way around. So enjoy, and I will see you at the stitch marker. And then into our last stitch with our stitch marker. Oh, I almost just did an increase, but I didn't. We did just single crochet. So once we made it to the end, we'll put our stitch marker in after we count. We will have the same amount of stitches as we did the last round, so make sure we have 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Perfect. So put our stitch marker back in. So this is our first round, round 6 of our single crochets. We have 4 more rounds of single crochet, so we'll be doing the exact same thing we just did all the way until round 10. So I'm going to let you do this part by yourself. I'll have a time lapse here. Just continue single crocheting all the way in the round for the next 4 rounds for a total of 5, and enjoy this part as much as you can. I will see you at the end of round 10. We are now at our stitch marker to do our last stitch. However, we are going to be doing a color change, so you want to make sure you pay attention for this part. So we're going to insert our hook like we normally would for our last stitch. Insert. We're going to yarn over and pull through just that first loop, just like we do for our single crochet. However, now that we have 2 loops on our hook, we are going to take our white yarn. If you want to get creative, you can choose any color really, but for our sake and how we want our narwhal to look, we're going to go with the white underbelly. So the blue is the top, the white is the underbelly. And then we're going to attach like so, and we're going to pull through those 2 loops. This will be the end of our round, end of round 10. I'm so sorry, but I needed to bring in a different example as I forgot to remind all my viewers of something. There is a right and wrong side of amigurumi here, so naturally our quote-unquote wrong side will be on the outside. So as you can see, it looks a little bit more flat. You want to make sure at this point you want to flip your work, that way it's inside out. You can see that we have more of these V-stitches. A good indication is usually your tail will be on the inside. Just make sure that you are working with this correct side facing outward, and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much. And we are going to insert there. So great job. We should still have 30 stitches in our round and we can continue on. So for round 11, it's going to be another round of single crochet, but it's just going to be in white. We're going to do our single crochets, no counting, no increases. And once we get to the stitch marker, I'll show you how to do a clean color change to the best of our ability. So I will see you at the end of the round. Okay, we have made it to our stitch marker, so we are going to remove our stitch marker out of the stitch to do our final stitch of the round. Great job, you've now finished round 11 of all single crochets. If this previous color change feels like not as tight, you can always tighten them in the back if it's too loose, and that should fix that. So we are going to put our stitch marker in. So we actually have quite a bit to go over in this next round, so it'll be fun, but there will be some a lot of points where you do have to focus. So to begin, we actually want to worry about our color change. Typically you would crochet just into that next stitch, but for us, since we don't want it to be so apparent, we're going to be doing that first stitch of our single crochet 3 followed by a decrease. We're going to instead insert our hook at the bottom of the stitch here from our previous round. And we're going to insert and yarn over and pull through kind of a thick loop. There we go. We have our 2, yarn over and pull through. And it's not a perfect color change, but definitely better than if you had just gone normally. So always keep that in mind when doing color changes for your future work. If there's there might be better ways to do it, but this is just how I like to do it. Okay, so on to the next round. As you can see on screen, the pattern calls for single crochet 3 followed by a decrease, which is going to be the opposite of an increase. So we've done our first single crochet, so this counts as 1. So let's do our next 2 together. Insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. Into the third stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've done our 3 single crochets as evident here. And now we are going to do an invisible decrease. When learning how to do a decrease, you'll see lots of different ways of doing it on YouTube and usually called just a decrease, but we're going to do an invisible decrease. That way it doesn't show any bit of our work looking kind of clumped, and it's just a cleaner look overall. So what you're going to do is taking our hook, we're going to be going through the front loop only of the next stitch. As you see from an aerial view, we have 2 loops on our V's. We're going to go into the loop that is closest to us. So as you can see, I'm kind of going from underneath, pushing up. I have just that 1 loop here, just my front loop. And then before anything else, I'm going to go into the next front loop of my next stitch. Insert and push through. I now have 3 loops on my hook. I'm now going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there is our invisible decrease. So that is what that looks like. So you'll be doing that all the way around, and this is going to start closing our work so we can have a closed body. But we're going to get through this round and then add some of our safety eyes and then continue on. So let's do that again. We'll insert a single crochet in the next stitch, insert a single crochet in the following stitch, and insert a third single crochet in the third stitch. And then we're going to do another invisible decrease. Insert your hook through that front loop only, and then once again into that next stitch into the front loop only. Oh wait. So insert your hook through the front loop only of the next stitch, into the next stitch. Once again, insert through the front loop only. We now have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So there's our invisible decrease. I'll do this one more time with you, and then I'll meet each other at the end. So let's do our 3 single crochets, yarn over, pull through, and do our first single crochet. In the next stitch, do another single crochet. In the third stitch, 1 more single crochet. And then once again, doing our invisible decrease. Insert through that front loop only of the next stitch. Insert through the front loop only of the next stitch. Having our 3, get a yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Great job with that. Continue this repetition of single crochet 3 followed by a decrease all the way until the end of the round where the stitch marker's at, and we'll perform one last together. Okay, as you see here, we're on our final decrease, our invisible decrease. So we're going to take out our stitch marker. We have those 2 stitches left, and our invisible decrease will end in that final stitch where our stitch marker is at. So insert through that front loop only, and then into that last front loop only. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. All done with that. Before we actually put our stitch marker in, we're going to count. So we are decreasing now. So we are subtracting the amount of stitches that we have. So we're going to be going from 30 stitches down to 24. So let's make sure we have 24. I'm going to actually cut the working yarn that's blue. I'm going to leave quite a generous amount, and then I'm going to put it in the center so it's just kind of out of the way. It's kind of annoying. So let's make sure we have 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Perfect. We'll insert our stitch marker, and we are going to actually attach our safety eyes now. So let's make sure we get those out. So our body is now coming together for our narwhal, looking great. We are going to be adding our safety eyes. You can use really any size you want. I mean, this is kind of down to creative decisions, but I'm going to be using 12mm safety eyes. You can find the link below in the description to see the ones I use and order some for yourself. But we are going to be attaching these here. So with our safety eyes, we'll now be inserting into our whale to start on our face. A good indication, so this is our back. We do have kind of like this color change that we don't want visible in the front. So we're going to flip our work entirely, making sure we're trying to just work as far away from that as possible. I'm going to put my first safety eye, and we're going to put it into round 10. So a good way to find this is starting from that center of your magic ring. I'm going to count this as 1, and then I'm going to count all those like stitching spaces in between those V stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is just like 1 round away from the white. So I've indicated my 10th round. I don't want to be directly in the center since I'm going to have 2 eyes. So I'm going to put it somewhere over here. I'm going to put it right here. And you can always take these out as well. I'm going to put it right here. So you can see the back is over here. And here's my safety eye. And I'm going to count 9 stitches in between my other safety eye. So counting these little holes right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then after the 9th, I'll insert my other safety eye. Insert into the hole. Okay. And this is really forgiving, so if you don't like how far away it is, or if you think it's too far or not far enough, you can always make these changes for yourself as well. The rest will all be the same. I do recommend, if you want to do the smile that I like to do on my dolls, having it be odd numbered. So here's the back. So we have our little washers that come with our safety eyes. So there's these. So we are going to, if we're happy with how this looks, we're going to insert and we're going to clamp these on. It should make like a click sound. Not sure if the mic picked that up. And then once again to the other side to make sure that these are securely in. And I only go down the first like notch, but you can choose to go down. Maybe I'll go down the second one actually. There we go. I've gone down 2 notches myself, but you don't need to if you want it to be a little bit looser. All right, great job having your safety eyes in. We can now continue on with our crochet efforts. All right, so for our next round, we are going to be doing another round of single crochets followed by a decrease. This time, it's going to be 2 single crochet followed by an invisible decrease instead of the 3. At this point, you're probably familiar with all these repetitions, so this should be pretty easy for you. So into our first stitch, we are going to do a single crochet, followed by a single crochet, followed by an invisible decrease, going through that front loop, going into the next front loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're going to continue that repetition all the way around. So I will meet you at the end where our stitch marker is at, and we'll be ending on a decrease. So 1, 2, and then an invisible decrease. And then we're going to be doing our last repetition. So there's 1, 2, and then we're going to take our stitch marker out because we know we'll be ending on that decrease. Do those 2 loops, pull through 2, pull through 2. All right, great job so far. Look, it's coming together. We love how that looks. So now we want to make sure that we have 18 stitches at the end here, since we are getting rid of some stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Great job. We have one more round of decreasing. We're almost there for the main body. So now instead of single crochet 2 followed by a decrease, we're going to be doing a repetition of single crochet 1 followed by a decrease. Or an invisible decrease, sorry. So in our first stitch, we'll do a single crochet. Into the next, we'll do an invisible decrease. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet. Into the following, we will do our invisible decrease. And we'll continue this repetition all the way around until the end of the stitch marker, and then we'll end it there. All right, we made it to our stitch marker just about. We're going to do our last decrease, take out our stitch marker, and then finish this off with our last invisible decrease. Let's make sure, now that we're at this point, we are going to make sure that we have 12 stitches in total in our round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect, we're exactly where we want to be. Now we are actually done with the crocheting, so great job there. So with this loop, we're actually going to pull a generous amount, continue pulling, and then we're going to cut our working yarn with our scissors. And then I'm going to pull this out all the way. And I now have this much of a tail. It's kind of long, but that is okay. And we'll be working with this soon. But here is our main body. Now we get to stuff our project. So make sure to grab your polyfill and we'll start stuffing. Now that we have our body, we want to make sure that we are grabbing some polyfill. I'm actually going to bring this out a little bit so you can see easier how to stuff. So we have our polyfill. You don't need too much of it. I do highly suggest stuffing it where it's pretty full because over time it can become a little flat. So we're going to stuff to our best of our ability with the amount of space we have. A lot of times, if you're new to amigurumi, some folks like to just shove it all in at once. We do want to make sure we are taking little bits to start stuffing our work. This way we can avoid making it clumpy. Have more control over making sure that each corner and part of the doll is stuffed. So it takes a little bit more time, but patience is definitely a virtue in this case. So just taking little bits and stuffing. And it doesn't need to be overly packed. If you have a doll that you want to be a bit flatter, no worries there. So we're going to continue stuffing our work and continue stuffing until you feel like it's stuffed enough for your liking. So this is feeling stuffed enough for me. You can always add more or remove if need be. And the reason why we started this with a big enough hole is we're going to actually sew this closed. And that way it kind of has a flatter tummy so it can sit easily. So great job stuffing. We'll have a little bit more space as we continue to like wrap this down, so it doesn't need to be perfect right now. But notice how the amount of like little pieces I use gives me more of a circular look and it's not looking very clumpy. You want to get your darning needle now. Make sure you have this. This supply, very important. We're going to be using it a lot now for moving forward with our project. We're going to insert through the darning needle and we're going to be closing this off. So we're going to be doing, taking our darning needle, we're going to be going through the next stitch. We're going to be going through just the front loop only. We learned what the front loop was, so this shouldn't be too hard. So going through just the front loop, pulling slowly, and then we're going to go immediately into that next one, and that next front loop only. Pull through, and now we can continue pulling. And keep pulling till it's tight. And there we go, that cinches a little bit. We're gonna do the same thing in the next two stitches. So going through that front loop only, pulling, and then going through that next front loop only, and pull slow. And now that we've gone through both, we can pull a little tight. We don't wanna go too fast. Notice how my yarn starts to like wanna get all up in itself. So making sure that doesn't get knotted. And we'll pull. And you can see that this is starting to look really clean and we're closing this hole. And this is the time if you want to continue stuffing, you can. But mine feels pretty good, so I'm going to leave it as is. So we're going to go through that next front loop. And then go through the next. And then pull. And then we're going to continue this all the way around, and you'll be doing this 6 times in total since we have 12 stitches. And then we're going to go through the last 2. And then pull, and there we have it. You have like the tiniest bit of hole, but it really shouldn't be a concern. Notice looking at this, we have like a flat bottom, and that's because we did this technique, so really great job. We're gonna knot off our work just so we can feel secure with it. So to do that, we're gonna take our needle, go through the stitch next to where we're coming out of, and have our needle come out in the stitch or the stitch next to the one where we've already been working through. Pull through, pull slow, keep pulling, and you'll be left with this loop. We're going to take our darning needle and we're going to go through that loop, so pulling through, and then we're going to pull really tight, making sure that that's like not in the way. We can weave through a few extra stitches just for some extra security, like so. So I'm just going to pull through some. All right, that feels nice and flat still. And then insert, and then we'll just come out the back so it's not visible. We'll pull through, we will cut, and then with the little bit that's showing, we take our darning needle and we just push that inside the body. And there we have our body. Congratulations, a big step is done. It's looking really cute, and we can now start working on all the limbs, so as the fins and the tusk, and I'll see you for that portion of the video. For this portion, we are going to be making all the fins. They are all made the exact same way, so we're going to be making this one together, but you will want 4 in total. So you want to choose this as the same color as the body, or as like the top of the body, so mine will be blue. So what we're going to do, just like we did before, we are doing a magic ring. So as we saw at the beginning of the video, taking your non-dominant hand, using your index finger, having the tail on the front, so on the inside of your finger like so. I'm going to hold it down, wrap around to create an X. I'm going to actually zoom this in a little bit for everybody. We see the X, and I'm going to take my crochet hook, I'm going to go underneath that first loop, go grab that second loop, and pull underneath, and twist, like so. I'm going to grab my working yarn with my middle finger. I have this bridge to work with. I'm going to yarn over and pull through to do a chain 1. pull. I'm going to take out my index finger, pull out that tail so it's not in the way, and there you have your magic ring. So great job. You can always rewind that and find the more in-depth tutorial on my channel. So for our first round, this calls for 6 single crochet inside of the magic ring. So we are all probably experts on our single crochet now, so I won't walk you through every single step. So into the magic ring, we'll insert our hook through the ring, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through to do our first single crochet. So there's our first single crochet of 6. Let's do 5 and I'll meet you at the end. So our second single crochet, third single crochet, fourth single crochet, fifth single crochet, and sixth single crochet. Just to make sure our counting was accurate, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With our tail, we're going to cinch our work, pulling it tight so we have this circle, and there you have it. So great job. Now for our next 2 rounds, there will be no increasing or anything. We are going to simply single crochet into all 6 stitches all the way around. So in our first stitch, we'll do a single crochet, and do our second stitch, another single crochet, and then we're going to continue single crocheting all the way to the stitch marker. And it's going to get a little tight, but that's okay, not too many rounds involved. Take out my stitch marker. Oh my gosh, it's like pulling my work. Insert. I'm going to pull just a little bit tight. Alright, and for our last round, we'll do another round of just single crochets. So single crochet in that first stitch, and then crochet into each stitch across or around. It does feel a little tight, so you're gonna have to just be, you can go as slow as possible here. Alright, take out our stitch marker, like so, and there we have it. And then into our final stitch, we are going to actually do a slip stitch just to make it look a little cleaner. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then you're just going to continue pulling through through that second loop. So great job. This doesn't look very clean. Just like we did for our body, we do want to make sure that this is flipped on the correct side. So you are just going to take your work and you're just going to flip it inside out. Like so. It should look a bit cleaner. If you need to, you can pull your tail for a cleaner magic ring circle. And there we have our first fin. So that is how that will be looking on our doll. We'll be sewing this on in another step, but this is what we are creating. We're going to create 3 more of these for a total of 4 of them. So you can get to work, repeat this entire process, and we're going to switch over to the other camera while I work on these. We'll now be creating the holiday themed horn for our project. And fun fact, this is actually a tooth on a narwhal. For this part, we are going to be alternating between 2 colors, so you can choose any color that you wish. I'm going to be going with red and white for a peppermint theme, so you can choose any color that you wish. So we're going to call this color A. So for color A, we're going to do our magic ring, doing what we've been doing this entire time with the fins and the body. So keeping our index, wrap around, create that X, go underneath that first loop, and go grab that second loop with a twist. Make sure I don't split my yarn. I'm going to grab my working yarn with my middle finger, yarn over, pull through, to do a chain, pull my finger out, and then pull out our tail, and we have a loop, our magic ring now. Great job. So with our magic ring, we are actually going to be doing a fewer amount of single crochets than we've been used to. So we are going to do 4 single crochet into the magic ring. So there's our first single crochet. There's our second single crochet. Our third single crochet. And our fourth single crochet. So only 4 for this, making sure we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. With my tail, I'm going to now cinch, and we're going to keep it tight, just like so. So we do want to make sure we are using our stitch marker if it is necessary. So put this in. And for our next round, it is going to call for 4 single crochet into a round. So for our next round, we're going to do 4 single crochet all the way around, so into all 4. So in that first single crochet, I'm going to do a single crochet in that first stitch, pull through, and it's going to be a little tighter since we only have 4. And then our second single crochet, our third single crochet, and then take out my stitch marker for our fourth single crochet, pull. All right, great job. And then before we get any farther, I'm going to cinch my magic ring with the tail, and then I'm going to make sure I flip my work inside out like we have been doing. Okay, make sure that the correct side is facing outward. Great job. Put our stitch marker back in. And we're gonna do the next round together. From here, we are going to do a repetition of a single crochet followed by an increase, followed by a single crochet, and ending on an increase. And we are going to want to end up with 6 stitches at the end. So I'm going to go, and this is pretty tight, so definitely take your time with it. In that first stitch, if I can get to it, and ignoring the tail here, we're going to single crochet 1, pull through. In the next stitch, we're going to do an increase. So as a reminder, that's 2 single crochet in the same exact stitch. So there's the first single crochet, and I'll single crochet once again in that same exact stitch. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet. And then in that final stitch, we are going to do an increase, but we are going to be changing colors. So we'll do that first single crochet like normal. Insert and pull through, yarn over and pull through both. Here we'll be doing a color change. So insert our hook, yarn over and pull through. And at the point where we have 2 loops, we are going to attach our new color. In my case, I'm going to do white for our peppermint theme, but this will be your color B, so any color that you choose. I'm going to pull through. I'm going to pull the other red that I attached from a little tighter, and that is the end of our round. So I'm going to insert my stitch marker here. Okay. Great job with your color change. This next round we are going to do 6 single crochet in each stitch around, so 1 single crochet into each. And let's make sure we have 6 single crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. Good. So in each stitch we'll do 1 single crochet all the way around. So it's a little tight. So there's our first single crochet. Second single crochet, third single crochet, fourth single crochet, fifth single crochet. Let's take out our stitch marker, and we now have our sixth single crochet. Good. I'm going to pull this tight, that way these colors are a little bit more hidden. Put my stitch marker back in. And for our next round, it's going to be the exact same thing where we do 6 more single crochet. We're going to be doing our color change the same way we did with our body. So instead of going to that next stitch, we're going to go down here in the main body where we see this V right here. I'm going to insert through here and then perform another single crochet and then pull through. So that way we have a better color change right here. So into the next 5 stitches, we're going to single crochet. So there's our second single crochet. Our third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Fifth single crochet. Take out our stitch marker, and we are going to be color changing here. So here's our 6, so yarn over, pull through. We have our 2 loops, so once again we're going to switch back to our other color, our color A, or any color that you wish, honestly. And I'm going to pull through. Great job. So 1 single crochet into each. Once again, the next round is going to be the same thing but with our new color. So we are going to do a single crochet into each stitch around. So there's our first single crochet, second, third, fourth, fifth. We'll take out our stitch marker, and our 6th. Okay, great job. And then we are in our last round now, but we're going to do the same thing we did with that last color change, and we're going to do the exact same thing here. So going down below, we're going to do the same thing we did with the other color change. We're going to go down below and pull through. It can be a little difficult. There's just a lot going on. So pull, and then we're going to single crochet into each stitch around for a total of 6 single crochet. All right, we made it to the end. Let's pull out that stitch marker. We'll do a single crochet into that same stitch. And then into the following stitch, we are going to do a slip stitch. So insert, yarn over, pull through that first loop, and continue pulling through that second loop. And then you can nudge this up. And then we're going to take our scissors. We're going to cut our yarn on both colors. And with the attached yarn that we were just working with, we're going to pull that all the way through so it comes out like so. Great. And all that yarn that's coming out of the body, we can actually cut a bit of that just straight. And then with said yarn, we can just push this in so it kind of acts as like a pseudo filling. And if it's too thick, so for me I feel like that's too much, or I've gotten to a good point, I'm going to cut the rest of this because I don't want to overstuff this. I'm going to push it in. And there we have it. We have our horn. So here's how it looks. We'll be attaching this in the assembly portion. We now have all of our pieces done and complete. Now we're going to be taking our darning needle and a good pair of scissors, and we're going to be doing the assembly portion. To begin, we are going to work on the fins, so we'll put away our horn for now. So taking the fins, I'm going to put these to the side. If you haven't yet, you do want to make sure that this is looking a bit cleaner. So where you ended your work, you're going to pull that all the way through after your slip stitch. Pull that through, and then we're going to cut the middle yarn that's attached to the tail. We're going to push it in. We are not going to be stuffing these fins just because they are so small, and they you want to like kind of have it flat. So what we're going to be doing is taking 2 of our fins, making sure this looks okay. We are going to first focus on adding our fins to the side of our narwhal. So here it is up front, and then we just want our fins directly on the side, like so. You don't need them, but having pins can actually be pretty helpful, keeping them in place, so we can use our pins. And before I do that, actually, I want to make sure that where I have the connected yarn, I do want it to be on the side just to make the sewing a bit more seamless. So I'm going to make sure that this is hiding in the back, towards the back. So as we see here, we're 2 stitches away from the eye. So 1, 2, and then we're in that 3rd stitch. With our darning needle, we're going to go right through the blue, as you see here, making sure this is at the end. I'm going to go in where it's laying down. I'm going to push it through, come out the end, and we're going to be going through the 1st stitch of our fin, pulling through. I'm going to take out my pin, and then in the next stitch we'll insert through the next stitch of the fin, and then in the next stitch of our narwhal we'll push in, and then we'll come out the next stitch. And then we are going to go back into the fin. So it's going to start kind of going downward towards the white body. So I pulled through, and then I'm going to go through the next stitch on the fin, push in, and then go through that bottom round and pull, making sure we keep this flat. We're only working in 2 rounds. We're going to go back into the next stitch through the fin. And then we'll go into the next stitch, which then we're going to go into that last stitch. And then we're going to come out the body in the back. We're going to pull. This is looking nice and snug, just like so. So I am 2 stitches between the eye. And then once you're back here, you can weave off and just cut, or you can choose to knot off, which can keep it more secure. So in this stitch right next to where we came out, we're going to insert our needle, going to come out the same stitch that our yarn is poking through, pull slowly, make sure that we have a loop right here, insert our hook through the loop, and then pull, and we can go back through the body, back out through the back, and then I can cut, and then I can push that in later. So good, you have your first fin. Now that you have that there, nice and secure, we can take our next fin, making sure, so I'm going to count 1, 2, and then come into that 3rd. And then if you are having reservations on where this lands, you can always take your other 2 fins, because these are going to be right next to each other in the back. So as you see, I feel like I still have plenty of space in the back to work with, so I'm happy with this. So for our next fin, we're going to attach our darning needle again, and we're going to do the exact same thing we just did on the other side. So I'm going to go through this bottom portion, just because I want to make sure that this end part of my tail is facing away from the eyes. We're going to come through, I'm going to pull, go through that first stitch of the fin, pull through, and then in this next stitch of the fin, we'll go inside, and then we'll go back into the body where it's white, pull through, And then we're gonna take out our pin. We're gonna go right back into the stitch that's kind of on the side of the fin. Pull through. And then we're gonna go in the next stitch of the fin, and we'll start working through the blue part of the body. Pull. Insert our hook into the middle stitch. Sorry, I mean our needle. We'll go back through, this is gonna be the last one, so we'll go back through the back of the body. Pull. And before I knot off, I wanna make sure I'm happy with my placement. Here's how it looks from an aerial point of view. Honestly, you could move it a little bit closer to the eye, but I think this works. I think this is fine. This is how that looks. So I'm gonna knot off. So once again, go through the stitch next to where the yarn's coming out of, pull through the same stitch the yarn's coming out of, pull slow. That way we have a loop. Insert our needle through, yarn over, pull through, knot that, and then we'll go back out. Cut that. Okay, great. So just so these aren't in the way, I'm going to be proactive and actually push these in. So cutting them short, we can take the back of our darning needle and we're going to push through. Okay, great. It looks so cute. Here's how it looks from the front. Looks fantastic. And now we'll work on those back fins. Okay, so we're adding the fins on the back. Here's how this is going to be looking before we even attach. So they'll be like right next to each other in the back, like so, as you can see, like that. So pretty much same placement, right in between where the blue meets with the white. And it doesn't really matter where this starts. I do want to start in the blue. All right, that feels like a good placement. And then before I commit, I'm gonna just make sure that this one feels good. All right. So we'll take our darning needle and then we will start sewing. So going in that first stitch right here, I'm gonna pull through. And into the next, I'm gonna take out my pin. Go through the next stitch. Into the next stitch of the fin will come out the body. And then if you ever mess up sewing, you can always pull it out and restart. You don't have to commit if you've already started. And then we'll go in the next stitch of the fin. And then we're coming all the way down to the bottom where it's white. We'll pull through. Once again, going back into the body and the next stitch. Into the next stitch of the fin, go back into the body. And then since I've already gone through all my stitches, I can actually come right back out the back end of the body to secure. That looks like that's on tight enough. And then we are going to knot this off. So pulling, doing that same technique that I showed you, and then coming out the back like so. I will cut. Okay, good. And now we have one more fin to do. This will be like pretty much touching the other fin. So once that's in place, we can pin that. All right, and same process. So we'll be going into our work and then coming out that first stitch. So I'm kind of doing it in one seamless motion on there. Pull through. Gonna take out my pin so I can stop stabbing myself with it. in the next stitch of the fin, come through. And then we'll just continue sewing around all the way like you've been doing. Pulling through here, coming back to the fin, through the body, and then we're going to come out the back. And then we're going to do it one more time where we knot our work off. So before I do that, I want to make sure that these look okay. Okay, that looks good. Happy with how that looks. Here's how that looks from an aerial point of view. And then pull through. All right. So you want to make these kind of tight so they're not very noticeable, as you can see here. Okay, there's our little our narwhal. Or I guess technically right now it's just a whale since we don't have the big tusk. But this looks really good. Congratulations so far on how much progress you've made. So we have one more thing we want to attach, and then we're on to the embroidery. So now we are going to focus on attaching our horn. So this can go anywhere. You can choose to have it pretty low, or you can have it go kind of high. I personally like the style of it being a little higher up. Since we do have a color change, we do want this to be in the most inconspicuous spot. So we're going to have this one facing downward. Okay, that seems good. So once I have a spot where I want the horn, I'm going to use my pin to keep it in place. Good. And then same thing, kind of how we did the fins. We're going to go into the stitch that this lays on top of. Going to insert our needle and pull through. And the needle should be coming out of the stitch that the next stitch is on top of. So pull, and you want to pull it pretty tight so you can make sure that you're hiding that the best you can. And then you go directly into the next stitch. Pull through. And then once you pull through, you want to go into the next stitch of the horn. And we're going to go through the next stitch of the body, like so. And we're going to try our best to kind of go in a circular motion. And I'm taking my pin out. I'm going to go back into the horn, into the next stitch that is readily available. Pull through. Insert our hook, and we're kind of going in a circular motion like I said, so we're going upward. Kind of dictating where we want it to lay. And sewing can be a difficult skill, so don't feel like you need to go fast. It definitely takes some time. And then into the next stitch, which is going to go through the body. So you do have two choices here. You can either go, if this is for personal use, you can just go straight through the bottom and cut. Or if you want it to be really secure, you can go through the body. So we're going to go through the tusk and then into the body, and we're going to come out. We're going to come out through a stitch next to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then from here, so I'm going to tighten it up. From here, we're going to go back in the same stitch we came in to hide it. And we're actually going to come out of the horn, as you see here, that we were matching colors. Making sure that comes back through. You can't see that. Come through here. And same thing we did with the knotting. You can actually do it right here as well. So I'm going to pull through. come out the same stitch that our needle was in, insert through the loop, pull, and remember, you're gonna do pull tightly, like really tight, that way it's hiding. Gonna come back throughout the body, up top, pull through, and there we go. We have our horn in place. And take our scissors, push that in, and there you have it. We have our little narwhal right here, and you can kind of, you know, push this to where it needs to be, but nice. It's looking really cute. Aw. Love how this is turning out. So from here, you are technically all done. We do have one more optional step if you want to add a face onto our doll, and that'll be in the next step. Otherwise, great job so far. We are going to be sewing on the limbs of the body just to give you an idea of what that's going to look like. Here is an idea from the aerial view. You'll be picking and choosing where this aligns. I'll show you the way I did it, but you can always customize it to your fitting. So here is how that looks. And then from the bottom, here's what that is going to look like. Now that we have our narwhal done, we can add a face, completely optional. So what you'll need is some black and pink yarn for this. You'll need 1 piece of long pink yarn and 3 medium-sized pieces of black yarn. So let's start with the face. And you can do anything that you wish here. This is just what I like to do for my projects, but you can add any type of detail, such as eyebrows. But we're gonna go with blush, eyelashes, and a smile. So let's start with the smile. So we'll use a longer one for the smile. So taking 1 piece of black yarn, I'm gonna push these to the side. 1 piece of black yarn, we are going to go from the, actually it doesn't really matter where you start, but we're gonna take our black yarn and we're gonna find the center stitch between the eyes, and we're gonna be 1 round below the eyes. So let me get this in a little closer so you can see. So we're going to be coming out, since we have 9 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We want to come through the center here. So notice how I'm 1 round below the eyes. We'll pull slowly till we have about that much left. And then we're going to go 1 round up, and we're going to go from the right, so 3 stitches over, starting from the center. So 1, 2, 3. We'll insert, and then we're going to go all the way to the stitch next to the eye on the other side. And we're going to slowly pull. These can easily get caught up with the fins. Going to pull. There's half our smile. And with our darning needle, we're going to go back in that center. But instead of just going straight through, we're going to go kind of behind it and then in. That way it can kind of grab onto each other. And then we're going to come out the body. And we're going to pull slow, making sure these two line up. And you can kind of push it in place. But there we have our smile. So great job with that. That's how that looks. If you have a long strand, you can cut. And then we'll push these in for now, just so it's not distracting. And these should hide pretty well. Okay. With our next black piece of yarn, we're gonna insert through our darning needle, and we're gonna do our eyelashes now. So with our darning needle, we're going to go in that first stitch here right at the corner of the eye. It's not going to be exactly touching the eye, but that's okay. We're going to pull, and then we're going to go into the stitch above it, insert, and then we'll come out the stitch next to it. So right here to it's either left or right, depending on the side. I'm going to go with my right. Pull through, and then we're going to go back in that same exact stitch, and then come out the body. And then you can kind of push it closer. And that's how that looks. So I'm going to hide the other black yarn that's kind of visible. And if you want, you can always go the extra effort of making sure that this is touching by kind of really getting in that space, but this is the main gist on how to do it. Gonna push these back in just like we've been doing. And then we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So taking our other piece of black yarn, gonna go through the body, and we're gonna find that corner stitch of the eye. So you can go right here, pull, we're gonna go up one stitch and then through the side stitch. And then we're gonna go back in that stitch that we started, insert, and then pull through. And there we have our other eyelash. You can see what that looks like there. Once again, you can go through here and retry that if you wish. I personally don't care if it's not touching, so whatever you wish. As you can see here, I was able to have them touch, so it really comes down to how important it is to you, but I personally don't mind. Okay, there's our eyelashes and our smile. Now we're gonna do our last piece, which is going to be the blush. So adding our pink. And once again, you don't have to do eyelashes. You could easily do eyebrows or anything else, or like an angry face, or even like, angry kind of an emote. So with our pink yarn, go back through the body, finding a new stitch. And then we are going to go into the white, that first round of the white, right below the eye. We're gonna pull, and I'm gonna go into the stitch next to it. And then I'm gonna go all the way to the other side with my yarn. We're going into the stitch kind of at the corner of it, of the eye. Pull through, and I wanna give it some slack here. And then we're gonna go in that next stitch next to it. And we're gonna go all the way back to the other side through the same stitch, and because we're gonna be double layering it. So pulling that, and then do the exact same thing again, coming through. You wanna try your best to layer this as evenly as possible. So I am making sure I'm pulling slow. So making sure we're gonna go on top of the other one, just to make it a little bit thicker and more pronounced. Go back through. On top, double layer this one as well. Perfect. Once we're done with that, we cut, and then we hide them, and then we're just about done. Okay, I push that in, and there we are. We have our face. Here's how that looks. Super cute. This is completely optional. I just like to add this bit of detail. So congratulations, you are done with your little narwhal. So proud of you. And you should be proud of yourself as well. And there you have it. There's the full video tutorial for my holiday narwhals. I'm really excited to see the color combo that you chose. You're more than welcome to sell these at local markets or for personal use. Obviously don't sell the pattern itself, but the finished project, of course. I can't wait to see it. Make sure to tag me on socials. You can find all those down in the description. And I will see you for the next video.